Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another one of my year-end videos, which is where I talk about my goals. I think this is either the third or the fourth year that I've done this video, and basically the concept is I go over what my goals were for the past year, so 2024, and I talk about what I accomplished, what I didn't accomplish, and just give some insights on how those goals worked out for me. And then the second half of the video, we'll be going over what my goals are for 2025. I'm definitely a goal-oriented person. Like, I love to set goals for myself. I feel like it's a great way for me to check in with myself at different intervals of time, like every month, every week, or every year, to check in on how I'm doing and making steps in all different areas of my life. But before we get started on talking about my goals from this past year, I wanted to share a little tidbit that I feel like I've been applying a lot more to my life the past year, and it's really helped me to reframe my mindset around setting goals from somebody who kind of has perfectionist tendencies to a way that allows me to have a lot more growth when I'm setting my goals. So I just talked to a couple friends about this recently, and I feel like sometimes setting a goal, especially for a very specific project or very specific experience you're going to have, sometimes setting a goal for that can kind of box you into what type of experience you're going to get out of it. For example, when I started my junk journal this year, this is the first year I've done a junk journal, when I bought the notebook for it, I was thinking about how I wanted each page to be like a scrapbook, and I wanted all of the pages to be from significant events or experiences in my life, and then I wanted every page to have pictures and also a short journal entry about what was going on at that time. But then as I sat down to actually set up the journal, I realized that doing that was going to really put me into a box of what I was able to use that notebook to create. And the whole reason why I got it in the first place is because I wanted to have a place that was creative, that wasn't my bullet journal, that I could go to just like have fun, be creative, collage, try new things. And by setting that goal of having it like be a beautiful scrapbook of my life was kind of in a way limiting me in the ways that I could be creative inside of that journal. So I decided when I started that journal, on the first page I wrote a little mantra of what I wanted it to be, and that was I wanted this to be a space to be creative and to be free. So since I have been using that notebook and journaling on every single page, I've been able to look at it as a space where I can put any creative idea that I have that doesn't have another home. I can use it as a scrapbook like I wanted to, or I can use it as a sketchbook. I've been using it as a place to hold stickers. It can just be anything that I want. And honestly, I think that switch from setting goals to setting intentions with new experiences has been very helpful in allowing me to gain growth in those situations and not be so controlling of what the outcome is going to be. A lot of the times when I set a goal that's a little bit too boxed in, it doesn't leave room for the experience to give me something back. Like, I am trying to be so in control of what I'm going to get out of an experience that I don't always let things go with the flow and go the way that they were naturally going to. So that's just my little disclaimer that I wanted to put at the beginning of the video that has helped me a lot through the past year. And even though I am still going to be setting goals like I normally do for this year, I am looking at each of my individual goals with that lens now of making sure that it's just an intention and it's just a framework, and that the goals can change and mature and evolve over the course of the next year. And with that, we're going to start taking a look at my goals from this past year, 2024. If you're new to my goals videos, I always set up my goals in the same way for each year. I set goals in 3 different categories. I set ones for work, I set goals for personal growth, and I set goals for fun. So I like to have my goals separated into those 3 categories because I want to make sure that I'm not pushing myself too hard in like the work department or trying to change myself too much in personal growth. And I, of course, always want to make sure that I'm having a lot of fun throughout the year too. So I feel like having each of those categories for goals allows you to really compartmentalize your different aspirations for the next year. Also, my goals video from last year, I don't know how this happened. It only uploaded like the first 8 minutes of the video. I'm pretty sure the video was like 20 minutes long. Like, people watched that video and there even, I think, a comment or 2 on it, and no one addressed the fact that it literally just like ends in the middle of a sentence, and no one told me. So I didn't even realize that until like a couple months ago, but I was like, this is way too late to like fix it or whatever, like re-upload a new version. Now I'm gonna know to rewatch things, make sure that I uploaded the full file before I actually upload it. Okay, so starting out with my 2024 goals, we're gonna go category by category and talk about how I did for each one. So the first category is my work-related goals. So for those of you who are new or you don't know about me, I do have a regular job where I'm a graphic designer and an illustrator, and I also consider doing social media part of my work because I do make a small income from it. So I do usually have work-related goals that are social media focused, and then some that are for my own job. But the ones that are for my job, I don't share because I don't like to share that much about my job. Oh, and then also the other part of my like income is doing freelancing commission work, so sometimes I'll have goals for that on my list as well. Okay, so the first goal on my work related list is to make a journal with me video every month, and that is a big check mark. I did do that this year. So every single month of the year I uploaded a journal with me YouTube video onto my channel. It's definitely my favorite series to do because I get to talk about art and journaling, and then I also get to talk about myself and about different interests based on the themes that I choose. My second work-related goal for 2024 was to look into getting a journal published. So for those of you guys who don't know, last year in 2023, my big year-long project was converting 3 of my old bullet journals to digital. So you can buy them on Etsy if you want, and you can print them and like put it in a binder and fill them out, or you can use them digitally like on your iPad or on your computer. That was my really big project, and I realized that that is a great product for a very specific type of people. Like I do have people who always come back to my Etsy shop and enjoy those and buy new ones every month. But what I think I have understood is that a lot of people who follow me and like my style of journaling want it to be physical, and they want to have like a real product that they can hold in their hands. And of course, like that is not something that I could develop and manufacture all by myself. So I wanted to make like time to research on how to get something like that done. I definitely did learn a lot about the process of doing something like that. I didn't make any actual steps to like get something like a project like that moving. So I'm gonna give myself like a half check for that one. My third work-related goal for the past year was to paint a mural, and this one I haven't done, but I do have plans to do one soon. I didn't want to like put any like boxes around what the mural was going to be, like if it was going to be a commission thing for a client or for a business or something, or where it was going to be. And I haven't done one yet, but I do have a friend who owns a house who asked me to do a mural on the outside of her house. It wasn't even prompted. Like I don't think she even knew that that was one of my main goals. And we were gonna do it in September this year, but I just was so busy that I didn't have time. But I am planning on doing that hopefully very soon. So that one is a tentative check for when I actually do it. And then my last work-related goal for the year was to learn about affiliate links for the products that I like to use. So this was like going to be another step for me to like up my social media game, because I never understood how affiliate links and like being an affiliate for certain brands worked. And that is something that I've actually stepped up this year. If you like ever are looking in the description of any of my videos, I always have all the things that I use linked in them, and I figured out how to use affiliate links. So that one was a big check. And the other cool thing about that is I am now an Archer and Olive affiliate, which is the journal brand that I love, and I'm also an ambassador for them for the next year, which has been so cool to get to work with them. And that's another little tidbit that I wanted to talk about. Sometimes I feel like setting goals, especially in a yearly time frame, is so difficult because I have no idea what I'm going to be doing in December 2025 next year, or like where I'm going to be, what my career is going to be like. I have literally no idea. And I think that's why I like to set goals that are pretty open-ended. They don't have a time frame on them. They are just ideas, because there are things that you're going to accomplish in a year that you have no idea today are going to happen to you. Becoming an Archer and Olive affiliate and becoming an Archer and Olive ambassador is something that last year in December 2023, I had no idea was like even on the table for me. So there's no way that I could have known about that and set that as a goal. So I think that that is a really important thing to keep in mind when you set goals, is that your goals list for the year is not the end all be all of what you're going to accomplish in the next year. There are so many other things that are going to come into your life that you have no control over. So I like to use my goals list as a framework and a list of ideas of things that I can accomplish on my own. So that's my little tangent about that. So that is all for my work-related goals for this past year. We're going to move into my personal growth goals. So my first personal growth goal was to find a workout schedule or type of workout that I enjoy. And this has been on my personal growth goals list for, I think, as long as I can remember, probably since I graduated high school, which is when I stopped playing organized sports. It's something that I have never fully gotten for myself. Like I've just never found something that I love, that has me hooked, that I enjoy. But I actually do think that this year I have taken a step up. So this to me is like a half check, maybe 3/4 check. The main thing that has changed it for me is my friends and I joined a volleyball league, which is not like super strenuous exercise, but it has gotten me in the habit of working that into my life and making a time for it, because when you're on a team, when you're like locked into a schedule, especially when you've already paid for it, I feel like I have to go. And especially because all of my friends are there, that's like the main reason why I want to go. I want to see my friends. I want to have fun together. Those things have really helped me, and since we started doing that in the fall, I feel like it's really incentivized me to, other than my 1 day a week volleyball, try to get out and do something one other day of the week, which I know is like a very bare minimum bar. Believe me, I have really struggled with like working out and just like getting outside and getting exercise for my entire adult life. So even that bare minimum of like having a volleyball game once a week and then like going on a long walk, stretching, or doing yoga, or going out somewhere where I have to walk around a lot, or sometimes what counts to me is like going out with friends and dancing. I get like sweatier doing that than I do anything else in my life. I am giving myself a mini check. In the second half of the video where I talk about my goals for this coming year, you'll see how I'm going to evolve that goal for 2025. My second personal growth goal was to budget every month, and that is a big check. I did do my budget every single month. My third personal growth goal was to read 13 books. This one I checked off completely, and actually I'm going to give myself a double check because this year I read 22 books. I am so proud of myself for that. That is the most books I have ever read in a year by far. If you are interested in reading content, I did film what I read this year. It's actually a 2-part video. I did one in June and then one a couple weeks ago. You can see all the books that I read in 2024. And then my last personal growth goal was to make a new friend. This is a goal that is always on my goals list, especially for personal growth, because I don't really know how I come across on camera, but when I meet new people, if I'm in a big group setting and I don't know everyone, I'm pretty shy. I have like great friends, but when I meet new people, I'm not ever the person that like goes up and like says hi first. Like I almost always wait for somebody to come say hi to me, and it's not because I'm like antisocial or like not friendly. I just like get shy around new people. So making new friends can be difficult for me just because I'm like never the one that's reaching out. So making a new friend was on my goals list this year, and I can definitely say I did make some new friends this year. Most of them were from my volleyball league that I joined, but I've also just like met new people through mutual friends, and I've really appreciated that. I think that is a big check for this year. So far, I'm realizing that my personal growth category has been by far the biggest blossoming category this year. Even before like looking at this list and analyzing it for this video, I feel like I felt that like maybe my like work life hasn't been as like fruitful. I feel like my personal life, my personal growth, my relationships has been what has really blossomed this year. So I love that for me. And I feel like that is a testament to that not every year is going to be successful in the same areas, and also a year can still be very successful even if only one area of your life is the one that's blossoming. Okay, so that's all for my personal growth goals, and lastly we're going to take a look at my for fun goals from 2024. I like to set for fun goals, which are things that aren't really going to help me at any part of my life. They're not like trying to make me better or like advance my career, but they're just things that I've wanted to do that I like to set a timeline for accomplishing them because it encourages me to like actually do fun things. So that's like what I define my for fun goals as. So my first for fun goal was to travel somewhere internationally. This is a check. This year I went to Mexico with my boyfriend for a wedding, and when I set this goal I already knew that I was going to be doing that, but I just wanted to make sure that when we went there I really enjoyed it and like made the most of it. So my second for fun goal was to experiment with a new art medium. I wrote beading or collage art, and this one is I think my biggest gigantic check from the whole list so far this year. I remember at the end of 2023 I had a lot of creative interests that I didn't have time to explore, and I felt like there were things that I could be good at, but I just didn't like have time to try them. I wanted to put that on my goals list to make sure that I was like making time to try them this year. So I did get into doing like little embroidery and beading art, and then the biggest thing is that I really got into doing digital collage this year. I have been so happy with that like journey for me. It's been my actual favorite go-to thing to do in my free time. I think a big part of it is that the way that those like creations look to me are like the clearest expression of how I feel as an artist. They are the thing that feels the most me that I make, and I feel like that has been a very gratifying thing to me. It's that like I've had ideas of doing stuff like that for so long, but I've never like made time to really try it, and I'm so glad to have finally like done it. And I feel like every time I do it I get better at it, and I like learn more about Photoshop, about how I visualize things as an artist, and it's just like fun like making posters, and I've also been able to use it for like my commission and freelance business, because as I've been posting things like that I make, I feel like I've gained a lot more attention from like my previous clients for that style of work, not just as like an illustrator. So that has been so cool to me. And then my last for fun goal was an idea for a personal project to work on, which was to design a card game. This one I didn't do. I like to always have like an option for a creative personal project on my for fun goals list, because I definitely thrive off of having like a personal project that is like a passion project alongside of my other creative work, because since I do have a creative job, sometimes I find it hard to like separate that work from like things that I'm doing because I actually truly enjoy them. And so I didn't do a card game this year, but I did do another very long-term project, which I actually haven't shared yet. I won't tell you the details of it, but basically I made an animated music video completely by myself with my own illustration and animation. And it took me probably 6 months to make, so it was like a big year-long, slowly chipping away at it project. That goal I'm giving a half check because I did do a big year-long creative project. It just wasn't the one that I thought I was gonna do. So that was all of my goals from 2024 and how I did on them. I think it was a pretty good year. Now it's time to get into what my goals are for 2025. Of course, I set goals in the same 3 categories for the next year, so I will dive into my work-related goals first. My first work-related goal is to reach 10,000 followers on Instagram. I don't usually like to set goals that are like super numbers based, especially when it comes to social media, because I don't know, social media is so just like all over the place that if you don't accomplish them, it like feels really weird. I don't know, I usually like things that are more open-ended and like up to interpretation. If you didn't know, 10K is like a very significant milestone on Instagram because it like opens your account up to doing a lot more things. Like for example, you can like use a swipe up link if you have 10,000 followers. I think it's like very possible. My next goal for 2025 work related is to paint a mural, and that is carrying over from last year because like I said, I made plans to do one, but I didn't actually execute it this past year because I didn't have time. So that is going to be one of my goals. I think gonna be in the springtime this coming year. That is a carrying over goal. My third and final work related goal for the year is to take a risograph class. If you don't know what risograph printing is, it's a style of making art prints and it kind of layers the colors on top of one another. And it's a style of printing that I've been interested in so long. I love the look of it, and I feel like some of my art styles would lend really well to doing something in that style, but it involves using a really big machine that I've never used before, so I feel like it would be helpful to take a class. I haven't taken like an art related class since I graduated from college, so I feel like that would be a fun thing that I would definitely be interested in. That would be really enjoyable. Those are all my work related goals for the year. As the year goes on, I'll probably add some things to it as I think of them or as they come up. Okay, so the next category is my personal growth goals for 2025. For the first one, it's about working out, my workout schedule. Like I said, last year my goal was to find a workout schedule that I enjoy. I'm kind of revising that goal for the next year, which is to try something new, a type of workout class. I think I'm interested in trying like Pure Barre. So I think that what I really need to do is to try new things until I find one that really sticks with me. My second personal growth goal for the year is to read 15 books. I know I read 22 this year, but I don't know if I want to set a goal that high because I don't really think that that's super attainable for me like year after year. So I'm gonna do 15 is my goal for this coming year. And then of course I have on personal growth to make a new friend. That is on there. My next personal growth goal is to practice guitar. If you're like a newer follower of mine, you might not know that I do play piano. I used to sing a lot. I was in theater for a really long time, and I do know how to play basic guitar. Like I know all basic chords and stuff like that, and I can do basic strumming patterns. Recently my dad has gotten into playing guitar and he is obsessed. He plays it all the time. Being around him and my 2 brothers who are also very musically inclined has inspired me to want to get back into doing guitar. I am going to try and practice. I'm not trying to put a goal on like a certain threshold that I want to meet. I just like want to get back into playing guitar. That is on my goals list. And then my last personal growth goal is to take better care of my hair. I love my hair and I love styling my hair, but in the past like a year, I have had a lot of trouble with my hair. I've had a lot of breakage, and I also have really dry scalp and dry hair, and I think it's because I have been heat styling the actual shit out of my hair for the past year, and I need to chill with that. So I definitely want to find some good products to use on my hair that don't break the bank but are good for my hair texture and like fix a lot of the problems that I have, and then reduce the amount of heat that I'm using on my hair. So I just want to take better care of my hair and preserve it and enjoy my natural curl. So those are all my personal growth goals for the year. Lastly, for my for fun category, we are sticking with travel somewhere internationally. I have been planning some trips for 2025. I am just hoping that those all come to fruition. My second for fun goal is related to that one I was talking about before about the music video that I animated. My goal is to show that film somewhere, either at like a local film festival or just like have a little showing of it, even if it's just for friends and family. I haven't like shown it to anyone yet, and it's been done for a while, so I want to like have like an enjoyable way to show it or submit it to a film festival or something like that. That's my second for fun goal. And then my last for fun goal for the year is to design something completely new. So like I said, I always like to have a creative big project to work on, and I gave myself some ideas. I said card game, packaging for a product, a book or a zine, or a wallpaper. So a lot of those things are just like ideas, but I feel like they're things that I could definitely do. They seem fun, they seem like a new exciting creative challenge. Those are my ideas for my big creative project for 2025. So those are all of my goals for the coming year. If you are a goal setting person, I would love to hear what some of your goals are for the next year. You can definitely comment them in the description box or let me know any of the goals that you had from this past year and what you did well. And if you want to see some more from me in my everyday life, definitely follow me over on Instagram and on TikTok, where I post a lot more frequently. My Instagram is at graciecreates and my TikTok is at graciecreates. Thanks for watching. Bye.